Did you ever wonder about the tragic incident that was the crash of Lion Air Flight 610? It's a story of human error, design flaws, and one of the most significant wake-up calls.
Oh, snap.
Well, we've learned the Clayton County Board of Commissioners just voted to sanction one of the commissioners, effectively removing her from office, or at least her role as vice chairwoman. It stems from a post on social media where Felicia Franklin claimed that she was drugged with a date rape pill. Now, according to the agenda, there is video.
Bowling!
Hide the money, y'all. There's poor people around. With your broke ass.
You're crazy, man. You're crazy.
Shelby County criminal court judge's battle with drugs has landed her back behind bars. Good evening, I'm Joe Birch.
And I'm Joy Redmond. Judge Melissa Boyd has been suspended from the bench due to her ongoing legal.
Comment at all about the Georgia orders?
Commissioner Natalie Hall smacked my hand hard as I tried to ask her about the judge's ruling, finding her.
Black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm blacker than black, and I'm black, y'all.
The last few days have been quite interesting with Aaron, aka Weapon X, aka the Pop the Balloon guy. And of course, I received a lot of hate messages. I received some lost subscribers. And of course,
Ladies, may we get a word? Hide the money, y'all. There's poor people around. With your broke ass.
Live Streets of Wolves has a breakdown of the latest video in the case.
Douglas County Judge Christina Peterson's attorney says it's not just about the police.
Bowling!
That's tomorrow, and that is it for us today. And we will leave you with I can't do it. We'll do it live. Okay. We'll do it live. Okay. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live. And thing sucks. Yeah. Bye.
What's up, good people? What is happening? Good afternoon. We'll give this a few seconds in case all these good, clear audio at this point. And welcome. Good afternoon to a out of the ordinary time zone live stream of the Independent Mail. To be honest, man, typically y'all know if anybody watches these live streams, normally I'm on late night, like midnight, usually on like Thursdays and Mondays and whatnot. But these black jobs have been killing me and definitely killing the YouTube production. And of course, I'm joking about this whole black job thing with the presidential debate. And I'm gonna be honest, I have shamefully not seen it yet. because seriously, the day job has been ridiculously dumb and crazy busy. Projects all over the place. My daughter's been working really hard summer hours, and she's been closing a lot, and a lot of times not even getting off to around midnight. So it's been hard to make the midnight live streams. So I'm realizing that now I'm gonna have to change up when I'm doing them. So I'm probably going to try to get one at 2:00 now, maybe on Sundays, and probably Wednesday night around 10ish or so. So we're going to see how that works out. But again, welcome to the Independent Mail. Thank you for stopping by. And here we are, a political and social channel where that's where we focus. And right now we're focusing a lot on scams and corruption. So as you guys know, oftentimes particular people become the faces of scams and corruption. And right now we're getting a lot of Tiffany Henyard. We've had some Funny Willis, with corruption and things of that nature. But then we have a lot of local stories, depending on where you are, from Chicago to Atlanta to everywhere. So we try to touch bases on talking about some of the corruption and scams that we see. And that's what we focus on. So today on this particular live stream, I am going to start off with a bit of a nostalgic gripe that I have with the manosphere, so to speak, or the red pill arena, or whatever it is you want to call it. I know they change the names from time to time based on particular things that people don't like, the terms they don't like anymore. Shar Joe, what is happening? I really, to be honest, did not expect to see you, really to see anybody, because of the time change. But as I was saying, I don't know when you came in, exactly when you came in here, but my black job has been killing me, and my daughter's black job as well, with me trying to keep up with live stream. She's been almost getting off at midnight, and it's been so now I'm having to get them in when I can. So I think maybe a Sunday afternoon live stream is gonna be in effect, and I think Wednesday, when my daughter doesn't have to work at all, I think I'm gonna try to squeeze one in around 10 o'clock or so. So anyway, the rundown for the day, and for the replay people, probably tomorrow. I know how y'all don't like me dragging these things out or whatever, but I'm not going to rush this live stream because there's some things I want to cover. But what I will do is, a little bit after this post, I'll go through and I'll timestamp the different topics. So if you have something particular that you want to see, you can just, skip right to that part. So first off, I have a bit of a nostalgic gripe, like I was saying, with the red pill manosphere space. And Shar, I really wish Miss Shaw was in here, because I know she sees some of that stuff, because she's a subscriber to Chisha Jed and the Coffee Pods. Shout out to Chish, and shout out to Q Shaw. So I know she's familiar with some of this stuff, and I guess too, I'm gonna pose a question up here, and hopefully in the replay, if you see this, you answer it in the comments as well, because I'm really curious, and I want to know, is the red pill space beneficial? And the reason I'm asking that, like I said, this is just a bit of a small nostalgic gripe as far as with the space. And my gripe is when I first saw material from the manosphere space, it was probably it was during pandemic time, like 2021. And of course, I saw the Average at Best video, like a lot of people got introduced to. And so, of course, I saw some Kevin videos, and after that, YouTube started feeding me other content creators. And initially, I was like, wow, this is an interesting space, because men typically on a deep level don't talk about relationships. We don't talk about what we experience, what we're going through. Really, we'll just talk about superficial stuff at a barbershop, like, oh, these chicks is crazy, or Beyonce fine, superficial, topical things like that, but nothing deep as far as, what was my shortcoming? Why did this relationship fail? Was this expectation realistic? Things like that. So it was interesting and refreshing to be like, oh my God, there are guys that are talking about these things, and you're like, okay, I'm kind of not crazy in my experience. So that was refreshing. But the other thing that I really, really liked about discovering the Manosphere red pill space, again, 2021, pandemic time, was that there was this big emphasis on being the best version of yourself, this whole self-improvement thing. And then it seemed like there was this brotherhood of creators that wanted to push for this self-improvement, that wanted to push for this strengthening of families and keeping men in the household. And I was like, oh my God, this is ridiculously admirable. I love this. And so you fast forward to now, and the reason I'm bringing this up, let me get my screen shared. Some of you, if you're familiar again with the red pill space and the Manosphere space, probably there's no way you didn't know about the balloon pop plumber guy. Let's see if I share the screen here. Make sure this is shared the way I want it. Yeah, let's make it. I want him bigger. Yeah, let's make me little. Okay, yeah. The balloon pop plumber guy. And the reason I bring this up is because I feel like, I'm not going to find the video and play the video because I'm pretty sure most people have seen this video at this point. And I want to touch on this because of where the state of this story is now. Now the state of this story is, oh my God, this guy conned everybody and built up this GoFundMe and was, tricking it off at the strip club and all of this stuff. And my thing was, well, how did this happen? What happened to the space to where this happened in the first place? And I feel like the things that I really gravitated to the red pill space for, with the self-improvement and this brotherhood of having strong, capable men in your circle and you guys being the best you can be and affecting your community and things of that nature, I feel like that part of the sphere has been lost, not primarily because of the content creators, but I think because of money, which, as most people are saying in a note, ruins just about everything. And oh, Kiana's traveling today. Okay, all right, makes sense. Where's she going? I bet you know. And the reason I say money has ruined it is because most people build these channels, they build subscriber bases, they build these watch hours. For what reason? Yes, some people have something they want to get off their chest and have ideas that they want to get out, but most people want to make money. They want to make that coin. And what happens is, Houston, all right, H-Town. What happens is the Uncle Al, aka the algorithm, aka the the being, the entity that is being input by the consumer, who is the viewer, has turned that space into something that gave guys a place. Well, some guys, because this is what has happened. There's a segment of guys that I don't think are interested in self-improvement. They're not interested in a brotherhood of guys improving themselves so they can affect their community. They're just more interested in videos of chicks getting their comeuppance, of videos of chicks getting told off. And it's almost a bloodlust for it. So that they don't care about anything else but just seeing chicks getting told off. And so the creators in that space, I don't want to say they're trapped because they have a choice, but if they're motivated by using their time that's going to generate them the most income, they're going to pay attention to what the algorithm is telling them and what the analytics is telling them. And that's telling them that they have to almost cater to this bloodlust of telling chicks off. And I'm going to get off of this, but the reason I was bringing this up is because the plumber guy, he came on the Pop the Balloon show. And for some reason, I saw this clip of him almost like within hours of him being on the Pop the Balloon show, which was funny because it wasn't from anybody I was subscribed to. It was just from a person that YouTube was like, hey, check this out. And I guess maybe it was trending at the time. So I looked at it, I saw the guy, and I was like, oh, once the sphere gets a hold of this, they're going to dissect this dude. And the following day and the following couple of days, I did start seeing videos, but they were not dissecting this dude. It was, dude knows his worth, tells chicks off, confident males, holds chicks accountable, blah, blah, blah. And I was just like, where's the masculine frame that you guys always teach? It is like, yeah, he's a gym rat, but that's not the masculine frame I'm talking about. Because if you go back and you watch this video, or if you saw it originally when it came out, dude was reactionary to everything, which showed me that he was prepared for rejection. That he had to have comebacks and quips as soon as he heard them, with a fictitious queen in the middle of it. Oh, queen, I was looking at all the hair on your arms. Oh, queen, the feeling is mutual. You ain't my cup of tea either. And I'm just like, dude, anybody realistic knows that they're going to have balloons pop. Cool. Like, I know if I go on there, I might be lucky to have 2 or 3 people still out of 10 still holding the balloon. I'm not young anymore. I'm a slim dude. I don't have a beard. I'm not chocolate. Like, people have their preferences. So these things get you popped. But you don't sit there and react. But every time somebody says something, but he did, they didn't come at him crazy first. Somebody just popped their balloon and then he came out with the insults. They didn't check that. They also didn't check the fact that if we flipped it and made him a female, none of the buttons work on his shirt. Everything's tight. If he was a female, the sphere would have, or the fans of the sphere would have dissected him as a chick and been like, he's dressed like a 304. They overlooked all of that. And so then you fast forward to what, this past week, and now it's, oh, we may have gotten conned. And shouts out to the Duke. The Duke was on it like almost from the beginning. He was almost on it from the beginning. He had posts back last week. 6 days ago. Man from the Pop the Balloon guy played the dudes that donated to him. This guy was throwing money in the club right after the GoFundMe hit 14K. Told y'all he was lying. And so my thing was, why did everybody have to go back and be like, and do all of this investigating on this guy? Because there was a bloodlust for the beginning of people of seeing some chicks getting told off. And I'm gonna get off of this, but my thing is with the guys that have a bloodlust for that. And I'm not saying that some people don't need to be held accountable and some females don't be out of pocket. But just having a bloodlust to see some female getting their comeuppance, just so you can regurgitate stats like, oh, well, you can't want 6 figures because the average man makes 50K and the average black man makes 42K. So that's unreasonable. Why is it not unreasonable that the average should be, let's say, 60K? We only make 13% of the population. It should be easier to get our income levels up quicker. So anyway, my point on that is that I've got friends of the channel, you know what I mean, that I follow that are in the sphere. And I just really hate that the stuff that I loved about it. And I know that there are other people that like that aspect, but I know that we're the minority. Because again, the analytics is telling them. But I do wish that we could get a little bit more of that self-improvement content. That was the thing that really made me fall in love with it. And don't get me wrong, there are guys that do have camaraderie, work together. I have some, you know what I'm saying? Shouts out to Jason, Dear Walk Christian, Commander Coop, Do Better Podcast, JR Wisdom, great brothers, strong brothers, professional brothers. Most of them ex-military, JR and Coop. Jason's former educator. But I love these guys. I love what they've done for me. I love how they inspire me, you know? So I do love that. I just wish it was more of it as far as content, but I get it because that's not what gets the views. So anyway, get off of that. I am going to go to some updates on some scams and corruption, government style. And I don't know who's first. So let's go in here and see. Because I don't remember, but I got all of them bookmarked in here. And let's see who is first. I think it's a judge. Yes, it's a judge. Let's make her big. Yes, let's make this big. All right, I think this has a video. So let's see. Okay, all right. So we got ex-Shelby County judge back behind bars, meaning she has been there before and she is there again. Former Shelby County judge Melissa Boyd back behind bars. I think there's a video on this. So let's check this out right quick. Let them tell us what's up. It's going to be a commercial first. Watch, right? Of course it is, bro. I can skip it. All right.
A Shelby County criminal court judge's battle with drugs has landed her back behind bars. Good evening. I'm Joe Birch.
And I'm Joy Redmond. Judge Melissa Boyd has been suspended from the bench due to her ongoing legal problems. And this morning, we learned she tested positive for cocaine just days after completing a drug rehab program. Action News 5's Kelly Cook was inside today's court hearing. Kelly, you learned the judge's drug issues are worse than initially thought. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right, Joy. We learned about a second drug test that was administered to the judge, and the amount of drugs that was found in her system had everybody in that courtroom worried about her health and her safety. Judge Melissa Boyd back inside a Shelby County courtroom, but not on the bench, instead as a defendant for a hearing on violating her $5,000 bond conditions. Prosecutors say just 13 days after the judge completed a mandatory drug rehab program, she tested positive for cocaine and alcohol in March at, quote, severe levels. Judge Roy Morgan ordered a second test 3 days later, and the same level of cocaine was still found inside her system.
And that junk comes out quickly.
Issues, and we just want to make sure that those get addressed. Just from a human standpoint, she needs help.
Prosecutors say she needs help too and are requesting she be sent back to jail.
There's one person in this courtroom that could potentially save the defendant's life, and I'm looking at it.
Boyd's legal and professional troubles began in May of 2023 when she was accused of soliciting cash donations on Facebook to benefit a school while wearing her judicial robe, a violation of professional standards. In December, Boyd was indicted and charged with 1 count of coercion of a witness and 1 count of harassment. At that time, she admitted to having a drug problem and was ordered into treatment. Boyd was also ordered to mandatory pretrial supervision visits. Court records showed she was a no-show.
Reporting is the simplest thing to do. Just show up. That'll tell us you're trying.
Judge Morgan revoked her bond Wednesday and sent her back to jail, a move this drug rehabilitation expert says doesn't always yield the best results.
It's not effective. It's not effective at all. It's only making the situation worse, and it's only creating more trauma around it.
Camille Reed, clinical director of Grace House, says she's not shocked at all that Boyd relapsed in such a short period of time after drug rehab.
It's not enough time. It's like literally 28 to 30 days. And for most of those days, if it's a detox center attached, you're literally getting detox from whatever that substance is. So by the time you're detoxed from it, you're just now getting into the factors of why my addiction started, when did it start?
Prosecutors have offered Boyd a plea deal in her criminal case, which may get her the help that her attorneys say she needs.
What they're proposing is not heavy on punishment. It's heavy on treatment and saying that she gets well.
Now, prosecutors offered that plea deal earlier this month, but said the defense has not yet responded. Horn told me earlier today the reason that it hasn't happened was because of Boyd's drug use, and says they cannot discuss those type of issues under her current condition. He will try again this week. If a plea deal is not reached, a trial is set for April 24th. Live at 201 Poplar, Kelly Cook, Action News 5.
course, we have covered and seen plenty of officials with quote unquote scams and corruption or legal problems. Again, I feel for this lady's addiction issues, and I don't know the stories behind what the origins were, if there's family history, things of that nature. And the reason I say this, and most of us can identify by some degree of separation of addiction issues, typically somewhere within our family structure somewhere. So there's some type of empathy, and heart goes out for the situation of how it started, whatever, whatnot, don't know. The only thing I hate about, because another one's going to come up, are the judges. Because these people, and again, I don't know what type of judge she was, meaning for what type of court, but in many instances, these judges have people's lives in their hands, and they're issuing judgment on people for transgressions and violations of law and whatnot. And when these individuals, and again, we're all human and we all are flawed and make mistakes, but when your mistakes are in the realm of legality, that is a effing problem. That is a problem, man. Like, that's a problem. Like, my thing is, does TIF affect people's lives? Yes. But is it at the same degree as a judge and prosecutors and DAs? I don't think so. That's why this is ridiculously disturbing when judges are caught up in these stories. But let's go to the next follow-up of government aficionados, and let's see what the next one was. The next one I think is a story about an upcoming loss from someone that couldn't be fired from her corruption and her scams, but she had to be voted out, and she in fact was. So let's share screen here, and that was Fulton County Commissioner. Let's make sure we can see this well. Yeah, Fulton County Commissioner Miss Natalie Hall. Looks like she was unseated by Ivory. I was going to see her whole name. Miss Mo Ivory. So she lost her battle. And if you're not familiar with Miss Hall, Miss Natalie Hall cost Fulton County taxpayers $1 million for quote unquote harassment on the job. I believe there's a video for this. Harassment on the job and like putting tracking devices on the dude's car and stuff like that. So they end up having to settle, and it costs like $1 million. So let's see if I think there's a video on that. Oh yeah, let's check this out. It's right here. Is it loading? Okay, there we go. Now let me switch it. Go over to FOI. Wait, lady. All right. Okay, make sure that it was sharing it correctly. All right.
Hall smacked my hand
Oh, we gotta hear it. There we go.
All about the Georgia border.
Commissioner Natalie Hall smacked my hand hard as I tried to ask
sure
about
did.
the judge's ruling finding her guilty of sexual discrimination against her former chief of staff, Calvin Brock. Other commissioners say her reaction was highly disappointing.
If you will have that reaction with a person, a well-known person in
Here you
the
could
media
be.
here, what will you do with John Q. Public?
In
Here
this
you could DJ.
67-page decision, the judge found Fulton County liable for sex discrimination, but not retaliation, and ordered the county to pay Brock back.
I keep saying, we hear you, Khadijah, because Khadijah, hey man, I almost got to get with Jason and order me a Atlanta Must Be Stopped t-shirt too, because Fulton got it going on down there with their own crazy stuff between Fanny and her junk. Natalie Hall costing her money, but Khadijah, that was just like, you have to be and have some nerve and blah. She had her own stuff where she was using campaign funds to pay stuff at Dollar Tree at Title Max. And then she's sitting up here saying stuff about folks. So anyway, Fulton, yo, I gotta get it together. Oh, let's get back to this. Let me get back to the story. I don't want it that way. I want it back. I mean, let's have smile. All right, let's get back to here. Get back to here.
Pay with interest, front pay, compensatory damages, and attorney's fees. Brock sued the county, not Hall individually. But the
Hello, why'd you stop?
decision also requires sexual harassment training for Commissioner Hall and a public posting of a notice of discrimination throughout county buildings. Today,
okay, I don't know what's going on with this video and why it doesn't want to play, but anyway.
Commissioners decided not to fight the judge's order with an appeal.
I was
We
about
could
to
lose
pull
first
out.
of all, and it could really escalate the settlement.
I was at the hearing when Brock accused Hall of firing him for refusing to have an exclusive sexual relationship with her.
Oh, okay,
The
be
judge also
exclusive,
found
bro.
Hall put trackers in Brock's cars to listen to his conversations and to stalk him. The Fulton County Commission censured Hall in September, even before the judge's order, but they cannot fire her
Tiff
because
stash,
she is an elected official. Commissioners
fashion.
say
They always got to
that
play in
will
their
be up to
phone.
voters in November.
Taxpayer dollars to pay for the lack of
Or not
judgment
for
of a
Dollar
Senate
Tree and
elected
Title Max.
official
Yeah, we're pulling out of this video. It's just
in an election year.
mhm.
Sad commentary.
Okay, got it. We hear you, Khadijah, and you are right. You are right. Unfortunately, you got your own issues. Oh, we got your own issues. So Natalie Hall scams and corruptions down in Fulton County, costing the taxpayers $1 million. But on the flip side, she got voted out. She's out of here. All right. Who else is out of here? Oh, nope. I do not want to leave here. I want to see who else is out of here. Clayco, we're going down to Clayco. We were in Fulton County. We're going to go down to Clayton County. And let's check out this article right quick. Share screen so we can follow up on the next government official down here with scams and corruption. We're down here in Clayton County. This is another update. We got a resignation on our hands. She went ahead and resigned. I want to say what Governor handed her resignation letter to Governor Kemp. Let's go on the title here. Clayton County Commissioner Felicia Franklin submits resignation. So Clayton County, Georgia, Felicia Franklin is resigning as Clayton County Commissioner, according to the letter sent to Governor Brian Kemp. The letter states that her resignation was effective June 30th. That's today. And she wanted to give him ample notice in case he needs to appoint someone to fulfill the remainder of her term. Franklin says that she was presented with an opportunity that she must take advantage of. Okay, and maybe she did. And I think there was a link to actually what happened. Yes. So let's check that out. If you're unfamiliar with Miss Franklin down in Clayton County. So let me share that particular screen because it's on the old one. All right, let's check this out. What was Miss Felicia in Clayton County up to? Oh, drat. Oh, yes. Yep.
With new developments in the controversy over the Clayton County Commissioner who claims that she was drugged. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Russ Spencer.
I'm Courtney Bryant. The board has appointed a new vice chair. The spot was vacant because commissioners recently voted to replace Felicia Franklin.
A video showed her apparently passed out on the ground outside a sports bar. Fox 5's Christopher King is live in Jonesboro tonight, where the board voted earlier. Christopher?
Russ, Courtney, the board appointed Demont Davis as the new vice chair, and the board and voters say it's now time to move forward. Commissioner Franklin, what do you have to say about your being removed? Commissioner Felicia Franklin quickly walked out of the Clayton County Board meeting and would not answer our questions. This after fellow commissioners Tuesday night appointed DeMont Davis as new vice chair after removing Franklin from that role.
I think it was a bad move and an unfair move.
County resident Margaret Bryant says the board should have been more forgiving.
Who has not done something that they're ashamed of?
They're supposed to represent the people, and their conduct reflects on the county.
Orlando Gooden says Franklin let down the people.
She was drunk. She was not a good representative of the county.
Franklin claims someone drugged her at a sports bar back in late September. Morrow police say they found no evidence of that assertion. They released video showing then Vice Chair Franklin apparently passed out on the ground outside the bar. Police say a toxicology report found she consumed several drinks of alcohol and had cannabis in her system.
What?
The video spoke for itself. What more can we say? Chairman Jeff Turner defended the decision to remove Franklin as vice chair. He says commissioners must hold themselves to high standards.
We represent the citizens of Clayton County, and we got to make sure we present ourselves in a way that our citizens are going to be proud of us.
Now, Franklin called the move unlawful. She insists she'll run for the position of chairwoman of the board. We'll hear more on what the new vice chair has to say about all this coming up at 11.
And like I said, man, if she had been roofied, then all of that was understandable. It's like pretty much get out of my face. You know what I mean? Somebody did something. Unfortunately, the toxicology reports found nothing of the sort. It's like we found all kinds of other stuff in the system, but not the rufinol or whatever the actual name is. So that wasn't there. So very unbecoming. Again, and every time, and we're lucky when these aren't cases of like straight up theft. But the problem lies is when investigations and all this stuff have to take place to prove that individuals have done these, you know what I'm saying, certain things. Again, this takes away from the actual jobs that these people in these boards are supposed to be doing. And it cuts into the taxpayers' dollars as far as having to try these individuals and have all of these particular hearings and stuff for the legitimate process of ousting them or sanctioning them or whatever, whatnot. So the next actual official, another judge that I wanted to cover right quick before I get on to the main story, which is actually some government corruption. I mean, I'm not government, but corporate corruption, because I feel like we're always focusing on individuals, whether they be politicians or like I say, judges, DAs, pastors, businessmen and women. We focus on individuals a lot, but we seem to not focus so much on when corporations are straight up not holding up their end of the bargain with public trust and sometimes agreements with the government. But anyway, I'm gonna hurry up and get to this story here regarding Judge Peterson, I think out in Douglas County. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. And if you're familiar with her story, she is under fire pretty much for her job performance. Like, they're basically calling her incompetent as a family judge or whatever in Douglas County. There was a story about a lady was just trying to get a name change or something like that, and she ended up in jail for 2 days. And these were the sorts of respect my authority types of things she was doing. However, about a week or so ago, Judge Peterson was arrested for an incident outside of a restaurant/bar in Buckhead, where it was alleged that she closed fist hit a police officer. So of course, and even when I saw it, I bookmarked it because I was going to talk about it the next time I did a live stream. It's just that I didn't get a chance to because work was crazy. But I did see a lot of other content creators, cover the story. City girl judge, blah, 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 getting drunk and getting into fisticuffs with police officers or whatnot. Well, then there was a follow-up video about that, and I actually hadn't seen it anywhere. So I wanted to make sure that I spoke about it because it may be somewhat of an exoneration on that particular story, meaning the closed fist hitting of the police officer. So it may be an exoneration of that, not the incompetence accusations as far as her job concerned. That's something else. But I'm just touching on the whole thing about assaulting the police officer, because most folks was like, she lucky she's still alive, because if that had been a black man, he'd been dead. And you know what I mean? And those things are kind of accurate. So but this video sheds maybe a little bit more light on that subject. So I wanted to share it. So let's do that. Let's do that. Share screen, please. Yes, share that one. All right. New cell phone video release moments before Douglas. Yeah, it is Douglas County. Douglas County judge's arrest. Because everybody showed that mugshot with a wig off. Not mugshot, her the back of the police car with a wig off. Oh, God dang it. Did I skip it? Yes. All right.
Okay, changing gears here. The attorney for the Douglas County judge arrested by Atlanta police last Thursday believes newly released cell phone video will help prove her innocence. Judge Christina Peterson faces a misdemeanor battery against an officer charge and a felony count of obstructing an officer.
11 Live Streets of Bulls has a breakdown of the latest video in the case.
Douglas County Judge Christina Peterson's attorney says it's not just about the police body camera footage released Friday, but also what happened before Atlanta police showed up to Red Martini Lounge in Buckhead Thursday.
She didn't even know the officer was there.
Arrington believes Peterson, who is a probate judge, was too distracted to notice. In the video, you can see commotion outside of the lounge. A man is seen punching a woman who identifies herself as Alexandria Love several times. You then see Judge Christina Peterson come into the frame, appearing to try to break up the fight.
The law allows you to protect others.
When Atlanta police arrive, according to arrest warrants, Peterson is accused of striking an officer with a closed fist.
Everybody was showing
handcuffs. On Friday morning, Atlanta police said the body camera footage wouldn't be released until the case is adjudicated, but then released the video Friday night. However, police won't comment on the change, though a spokesperson with APD did confirm they're investigating the man accused of assaulting Love. Body camera footage also shows the sitting judge later cursing at the arresting officer and refusing to identify herself.
It's illegal to drink and drive. It is not illegal to go somewhere and have a drink or two.
Peterson's conduct in the courtroom has been previously questioned, and a case is currently before the state Supreme Court to decide if she's committed judicial misconduct. Douglas County officials tell me there have been numerous complaints about Peterson's conduct in the courtroom, but whether indicted in this most recent case or not, the decision on her employment will come down to the Georgia Judicial Qualifications Commission.
I don't know how any of that would be relevant to what occurred the other night.
Arrington says he's focused on making sure his client's charges are dismissed, and he believes this newest video is step one and has turned it over to the district attorney.
They will see that Judge Peterson's role was not that of an offender and that she never should have been arrested.
In Douglas County, Teresa Bowles, 11 Alive News.
Loved ones taken too soon. This is a shocking crime.
No, bro. Actually, come on,
Are you
man.
skeptical of headlines and what you see on social media? We are.
You guys suck. While that's playing, the reason I want to go back on this video is because they're basically saying that, number one, hold on, all right. Okay. And I'm gonna make it bigger after I say this right quick. The reason I want to go back is because there's two things. Because a lot of folks just thought she was there drunk and wilding and was in the middle of something, you know what I mean, like an altercation or argument or whatever, and the police came and then she got into it and swung on them. So it's two bits of information in that video I found interesting, and I wanted to make sure people noticed. Number one, the situation looked like she was trying to be a peacemaker. Some other lady was getting assaulted, and naturally other women and hopefully some other dude. Again, we don't know what the cause of it, but come on, man, this dude was big by man's standards. He looked like he was definitely over 6 feet swinging on this lady like that, unless she's tried to stab him or something. I don't know why he would be doing that, but it's understandable for her wanting to be trying to defend him. Now, number two, they stated that she wasn't even aware that it was a police officer. And at the very beginning of the video, I could hear somebody saying, "It's the police." Like, as I think they grabbed her from behind, the officer may have, and she initially spun around or whatever, and may start swinging or whatever. And you can hear somebody in the background trying to tell her that it's the police. The only reason I'm bringing that up is because it definitely kind of corroborates the story that she didn't even know that she was dealing with a police officer. So I just wanted to bring that up, and guess let's just replay that right quick. Hope we can hear it. Let me cut it up too. Cut up Google specifically. All right. And maybe it'll help.
The police last Thursday believes newly released cell phone video will help prove her innocence. Judge Christina Peterson faces a misdemeanor battery against an officer charge and a felony count of obstructing an officer.
11 Live Streets of Wolves has a breakdown of the latest video in the case.
Douglas County
It's
Judge Christina Peterson's attorney says it's not just about the police body camera footage released Friday.
And this definitely looks like from the back.
Before Atlanta police showed up to Red Martini Lounge in Buckhead.
Yeah, I don't need to see that lady getting swung on like that again. So anyway, I just wanted to bring that up because, of course, and I would have been in that crew too if I had had a chance to make videos, have been on Make a Live. So I'm just saying, I know most of us was aware of the whole, she punched the officer, at a bar / restaurant, with some stuff going on. But this is the follow-up with a little bit more information. So I just wanted to make sure that since I knew about that I put that out there, because that kind of seems like it exonerates that particular situation. Now her on the job stuff is a whole another story. Now let's move on here to I suppose this question. So anybody on the replay can also answer in the comments, please. Why does corporations seem to why doesn't it seem to garner the same outrage as individuals? I.e., when we see tiff or allegations with 45, former President Trump. When we see this with individuals, it's bring on the torches and the pitchforks, but with corporations, we seem not to harp on it so much, or we seem not to highlight it so much. And I kind of wonder if it's because we're numb to it when it's a corporation, or is it because they're faceless figures or whatnot. But anyway, the reason I'm bringing this up, because if you happen to see the thumbnail or the community post and was watching this video because of those, Boeing has just been sanctioned. I say it's about time because I've been watching them all month. They have been effing up all month long. Why is this a big deal? Can't companies make mistakes? Yes, they can. But it's the type of mistakes that you make and how you make them, willingly or unwillingly. Are you applying? Are you adhering to regulations? Are you trying to obfuscate them? Things of that nature. But let's get into it. Because the reason I find what's going on with Boeing way more dangerous than any Fani or 45 Donald Trump story or Tiff or Pastor Bling Bling or Jamal Brown or anybody else that we can make a face of scams and corruption. Boeing is a huge problem, and Boeing needs to be on everybody's radar. Why? Well, Boeing's corruption cost us money more ways than one. Taxpayers' funds have been given to Boeing for various reasons, from bailouts to help during COVID times. But what else do they cost? Lives. Their corruption and their mistakes and their ineptitude costs lives. So let's take a trip right quick. Let's jump in an old time machine. Let's go back to 2017, which was only 7 years ago. 2017. First, let me share this. I don't want to go here. Let's share the screen. Let's square this. Let me share this screenshot. You know what? I bet you that was probably something that was not PC. What I just did. Yeah, I'm sure it wasn't. Y'all don't get me. Y'all don't get me. That probably. I'm sure that wasn't good in some circles. Let's see. Whistleblowers. What we got? Leave it to. I can't. We can't leave it to Beaver. We got to leave it to Shara. Leave it to Shara with the comment. I think she was answering the question about why we don't get the same outrageous stuff with big corporations. And she because the whistleblowers end up dead. And I'm giggling because we've seen and heard stories of that, especially if you're in Russia. Don't whistle. No whistles in Russia. You're going to fall out the window for sure. But yeah, let's check this out though. Let's share this screenshot right quick. Let's share this screenshot. Oh, I did. Did I share it already? Maybe. Oh, there we are. Let me make me some. All right, let's check this out right quick. Then we're gonna jump in the time machine. So what we have here: Boeing was sanctioned after blatantly violating an agreement with feds over the 737 Max 9 incident. The aerospace giant disclosed investigative information to the media that the NTSB says says, not a quote. They said it. All right. A U.S. safety regulator on Thursday slapped Boeing with new sanctions and restrictions after the troubled aerospace giant blatantly violated the rules of their agreement. The National Transportation Safety Board, NTSB, has been investigating the January 5th incident when a door plug blew off mid-flight on a Boeing 737 Max 9 jet. Boeing signed an agreement that gave access to the NTSB's information as it develops a record behind the incident. Boeing isn't allowed to share the information publicly. So then they were, I think, at the Senate hearing, and then they did share that information, and they weren't supposed to. And then and that's why they got new sanctions by the NTSB. But let's go back to why they were being investigated with this whole door plug thing blowing off. I think I have that one. I don't want it here. I'm sure there's a different screen. Yes. Door plug thingy. I'm thinking about getting you to be quiet. Yeah, before I hit skip. All right, there we go. Now, let's stop sharing that one. Share a new one. End up there. Oh, I got to see this. I got to see what Shar said right quick. Salute, Shar. Salute. Yes, please check the rest on replay because we about to get into this Boeing stuff. We're about to get into this Boeing stuff. So, like I said, NTSB was originally investigating why this whole sanctions thing came up from this January incident where a door came off of one of their planes. So let's check it out.
Breaking news right now.
Hey, Austin here with the latest on that Alaskan Airlines midair scare. Lots of new developments here overnight in this.
That's right. The NTSB releasing, in fact, these new pictures, part of their investigation into what caused a window panel to blow out mid-flight. The agency now announcing that a plug covering an unused exit door has been found in someone's backyard. Now, it could be a vital discovery, and new this morning, the chair of the NTSB is calling on a major rule change to voice recorders and communication between the pilots and flight crew in the back.
Yeah, we want to know what y'all
They need to know what's going on in the cabin, so that communication needs to occur. They have to know how quickly they need to land. And if that communication is not recorded, that is unfortunately a loss for us. and a loss for FAA and a loss for safety.
Now, the videos from inside the plane circling on social media here are downright frightening. This Boeing 737 Max 9 was just 16 minutes into the ride from Oregon to California when a door plug blew off. Now, according to the Associated Press, the gaping hole seen there on the side of the plane was opened when the aircraft maker, where an aircraft maker fits a plug to cover an emergency exit that the airline does not use. The FAA grounding all of the types of 737 Max 9s involved until it's, quote, satisfied that they are safe.
Okay. Things happen, right? That was January. But why is that alarming that a window panel blew off in January on this Boeing plane, 737 Max? Why? Because the whole fleet got grounded in 2017 when that stupid plane got unveiled from the get-go with some crazy navigation thing that was tilting. I ain't gonna talk about it. Let's go back. Let's hop in the time machine. Let's go back and remember, like the lion in the flight in Ethiopia flight. Let's do it. If I can click the right bookmark, we'll do it. Jeez, well, I'm gonna finally stop skipping. There we go. Let's check it out. Don't want that. I was not sharing my screen, that's why. All right, let's check you out.
Wonder about the tragic incident that was the crash of Lion Air Flight 610? It's a story of human error, design flaws, and one of the most significant wake-up calls in the history of aviation. On the 29th of October 2018, Lion Air Flight 610, a Boeing 737 Max 8, took off from Jakarta, Indonesia, bound for Pangkal Pinang. This was not just any flight, nor any airplane. The Boeing 737 Max was a new generation aircraft designed to compete with the Airbus A320neo series. It boasted larger, more fuel-efficient engines and a new system called the Maneuvering Characteristics Augmentation System, or MCAS for short. MCAS was designed to adjust the aircraft's angle of attack to prevent stalling by pushing the nose down if the aircraft was flying at too high an angle. This system, however, would prove to be a crucial factor in the events that unfolded. Shortly after takeoff, the pilots encountered erroneous data from the angle of attack sensors. The very sensors that fed information to the MCAS. The confused MCAS, in response to the false data, activated and began pushing the nose of the plane down. The pilots, unaware of the malfunction and without sufficient training on the MCAS, wrestled with the controls, struggling to maintain altitude. Despite their best efforts, the pilots could not regain control. 13 minutes after takeoff, the aircraft plummeted into the Java Sea, taking all 189 souls on board with it. The subsequent investigation revealed a tragic blend of factors that led to the crash. The AOA sensors had provided incorrect data, triggering an erroneous response from the MCAS.
And then let me guess, the pilot error on this brand new plane that I'm not going to get into that because I didn't pull the videos for it, but I remember watching this back in 2017 when this first came out. It was my understanding almost all the airlines had rush jobs on training for this new airplane that was getting released in the first place, but I'm sure that's the human error part. But why did what was wrong with these sensors that they fed wrong information to the stupid MCS thing in the first place? And I get it, the pilots should have known that part of the troubleshooting is that this sensor could have been given an erroneous information. And I guess maybe at that point they could have disconnected the MCS. I don't know what they were supposed to do, I guess, besides wrestling on the sticks.
The pilots had not been adequately trained on the system, and Boeing had not provided enough information about it. The MCAS itself was found to be flawed in design, relying on a single AOA sensor and lacking redundancy. This tragedy sent shockwaves through the aviation industry. Criticism and scrutiny fell on Boeing for their handling of the MCAS and their communication with airlines and regulators. The 737 Max was grounded worldwide in March of 2019, following a second fatal crash involving the same model operated by Ethiopian Airlines. The grounding lasted over a year, leading to substantial financial losses for Boeing and disruptions for airlines. But it also led to changes.
And it also led to bailouts. We'll get to that later.
Software updates were made to the MCS. Pilot training was enhanced and modifications were made to the aircraft's flight control systems. The Lion Air Flight 610 crash was a stark reminder of the importance of safety in aviation. It led to a reevaluation and reform of aviation safety regulations and oversight processes, with the aim of preventing such a...
And the only reason I'm stopping this right now is because they're talking about regulations, and by this being a political and social channel, and by me being an independent, a lot of times I'll talk about things on both sides of the aisle. But this is one of those instances where the word regulation doesn't have to be a bad thing. And I know a lot of times, some of my brothers and sisters on the right, they haven't met a regulation that was in need. Like all regulations are bad, and they're here to stifle and handcuff businesses. But a lot of times they're here for public safety, and this is one of those cases.
A tragedy from happening again. In conclusion, the Lion Air Flight 610 crash was a tragic blend of technical failure, inadequate training, and design flaws. It served as a grim reminder of the importance of safety in aviation and led to significant reforms in the industry.
Okay. And then
is air travel truly as safe as we believe?
So let's check it
Or
out.
perhaps the better question to ask is, how reliable is modern aircraft technology? Today, we dive into the tragic story of the Ethiopian Airlines Boeing 737 Max crash, a stark reminder of the potential pitfalls of cutting-edge technology. On the morning of March 10th, 2019, Ethiopian Airlines...
Really right quick, if you remember this, you remember this. And I'm sure you're like, why am I spending time letting them re-show what happened on the Lions flight and the Ethiopia flight? Because I wanted to set in what Boeing just was going through 7 and 5 years ago when they were grounded, like he said, for an entire year, to be where we are right now with this airline.
Flight 302 took off from Addis Ababa Bole International Airport, destined for Jomo Kenyatta International Airport in Nairobi, Kenya. The aircraft, a newly introduced Boeing 737 Max 8, was part of Boeing's latest iteration of its highly successful 737 line. This new line boasted larger, more fuel-efficient engines, which were placed higher and more forward on the wings, altering the aircraft's aerodynamics and handling characteristics. But just months before the Ethiopian Airlines tragedy, on October 29, 2018, the world witnessed a similar accident. Lion Air Flight 610, another Boeing 737 Max 8, crashed into the Java Sea shortly after takeoff from Jakarta, Indonesia. The crash claimed all 189 lives on board. Investigations into the Lion Air crash revealed a malfunction in the aircraft's Maneuvering Characteristics Augmentation System, or MCAS, a flight control feature designed to automatically adjust the aircraft's angle of attack. Erroneous sensor data caused the MCAS to repeatedly push the aircraft's nose down, leading to the disastrous crash. In the aftermath of the Ethiopian Airlines crash, investigators quickly noticed chilling similarities between the two incidents. The erratic altitude changes and fluctuations in airspeed were eerily familiar. Suspicions arose that the MCAS system, once again, played a fatal role. The global aviation community reacted swiftly. Aviation authorities worldwide grounded all Boeing 737 Max aircraft.
Grounded, okay? We remember what happened with that. Same thing. Ethiopian flight, Lion flight, we remember that, okay? 2017, 2018, 2019, they grounded them for a year. Okay, let's get your stuff together. This plane's not ready. Cost lives. People weren't adequately trained. Let's ground them. Okay? We ground them. They're going to take losses at that point because they're grounded. 2020 comes, COVID, whole airline industry is now hitting it. Now nobody's traveling or whatever like that. So because of failures on their own part with this failed aircraft that couldn't stay in the air, and then for reasons that they had no control over, which was, of course, like I was saying, the pandemic, bailouts came a-coming for Boeing. Again, one for a reason that was out of their control, COVID, but this failed airline, a failed product, a failed attempt at business, that was all on them. Plenty of automakers are going, EV automakers, Fisher and some of these guys, they come and go, but for some reason, that whole too big to fail thing's going on despite the incompetence and seemed corruption. But anyway, this is what happened after the pandemic. Senate aid package quietly carved out billions intended for Boeing. Officials say, when was this? March 25th, 2020. Lawmakers have inserted into the Senate's $2 trillion stimulus package a little noticed provision aimed at providing billions of dollars in emergency assistance to Boeing, the aerospace giant already under fire for deadly safety lapses in its commercial jets. 3 people with knowledge in internal deliberations said. Senate's package includes $17 billion in federal loan program for the businesses deemed critical. They're deemed critical to maintaining national security. Boeing, an airplane place, and yeah, aerospace as well. But they had to have this money because they were marked as critical to maintaining national security. So, okay, fine. Fine. It was the pandemic. Everybody needed to get stimulated that were in sectors that were heavily affected. The airlines sector was heavily affected. Fine, we get it. But then, like you say, you fast forward to January now. After you had those instances when you launched this plane and was grounded for a year, you received bailout packages from the taxpayers vis-a-vis the Senate. And in January of this year, you got a window suck out. What are y'all doing over at Boeing? And why is it that you guys keep maintaining these government contracts and these bailouts, you're too big to fail situations? Why? Why? You seem to be more trouble than you're worth. What else is going on? What is this? June 17th, USA Today, Southwest Airlines, Boeing 737 Max. 737 Max. 737 Max. It should be the men, because it seems like they put minimum damn materials and know-how into the plane. But anyway, 737 Max sustained substantial damage from a Dutch roll incident. Southwest, y'all got to get rid of these planes. A Southwest airline jet was damaged during the flight last month after it experienced an unusual maneuver called a Dutch roll. Flight 746 was en route to Phoenix from Oakland on May 25th, and the flight at 34,000 feet. And the flight was flying at 34,000 feet when the incident occurred. According to Federal Aviation, FAA, the plane sustained substantial damage to its tail section as a result of a maneuver. Although it was able to complete the flight, the damage was discovered only during a post-flight inspection. The rudder standby power control PCU was damaged. The standby PCU is a backup system in case the main rudder power unit becomes inoperable. No injuries were reported as a result of the maneuver. So why did they have to make the maneuver? Why did they have to make the maneuver? And okay, let's see what the NTSB says. The NTSB Vehicle Recorder Laboratory in Washington has received data downloaded from the plane's digital flight recorder. Data from the recorder will aid investigators in determining the length and the severity of the event, the agency said in an email statement. The cockpit voice recorder, which was currently limited to 2 hours of audio, was overwritten and unavailable to investigators. A preliminary report expected within 30 days of the date event. What is a Dutch roll? Instead of reading all these words, let's just look at it. Okay, nice. Plane was doing that. Plane was doing that. And it tore the PCU off or tore it up. Cool. Cool. June 17th. What else we got here? What else we got here in the month of June? After being grounded, after the bailouts, after y'all supposed to have y'all ish together, and then the windows blew out in freaking January. Dutch rolls in June. What else we got in June? Is this June? Yes, it is. It's June 24th. This is 6 days ago. This is 6 days ago. A Korean Air Boeing plane dropped 25,000 feet in 5 minutes. Wouldn't you like to have been on that plane? Wouldn't you love to have been on that plane? The flight returned from South Korea after problems with the pressurization system. The Korean Air Boeing 737 Max 8 this time. But as we say, dare we say minimum? The 737 Min 8 headed to Taiwan had to return to South Korea after dropping 25,000 feet in 5 minutes, about 30 minutes after takeoff on Saturday. Business Insider and Yonhap News Agency report. You gonna tell us why it happened? Business Insider. You're carefully cooperating. Yep, y'all don't know yet. They don't know yet. Let's see what he said though. Last week, outgoing, and that's all they do. Really, to be honest, that's all that happens in these things. They just keep changing frontmen and CEOs. Here's your severance package. You hit the door for taking it on the chin for this one, and then the next guy rolls up. But whatever. Last week, outgoing Boeing CEO David Calhoun testified before the Senate that the company is making progress in improving its quality control procedures because they're butt right now. Like what almost fell off your plane during the Dutch roll. And then in this one, dropping 25,000 feet. Let's see what this said. Yonhap reported that 15 passengers suffered from eardrum pain and hyperventilation during the descent, which 13 went to the hospital, citing information from the Ministry of Land, Infrastructure, and Transportation. Almost busted my eardrums, dropping 25,000 feet in 5 minutes. All right, what else Boeing got going on this month? Surely there's nothing else. Surely there's nothing else. What we got here? Oh, that's loud. All right, what we got else we got going on with old boy? In the month of June, just June, besides the window sucking thing, that was in January. Korea drops. Then we got, wow, this is something else. Another one, and another one, and another one, and another one. Southwest. Yo, people, pay attention. Who's got to see? But I'm not even gonna lie. I fly a lot of United now, and United's got a lot of them too. I mean, I'm just sorry. A lot of folks like to pick at Frontier and Spirit, but they buy Airbuses. And they don't seem to be having these 737 problems. But anyway, nope, get out of here. Southwest, Boeing 737 Min inexplicably dives, flies below 500 feet over the neighborhood. I thought it was going to hit my house. Bro, this person said I thought it was going to hit my house. A Southwest Airlines commercial plane inexplicably dived while landing in Oklahoma City, flying less than 500 feet over residential neighborhoods, setting off altitude alarms and frightening residents. The dangerous low flight of Southwest Flight 4069 from Las Vegas was recorded by the transponders and was and caught the notice of air traffic controllers. Shortly after midnight, the Boeing 737-800 passed by Yukon High School after it was cleared to get out of here. What this non-responsive? Wait, okay, got it. Didn't see that because I was reading. Past Yukon High School after it was cleared to land at Will Rogers Airport in Oklahoma City. Oklahoma City reporter. All right, the commercial airplane eventually landed. Stop doing that. Eventually landed safely after it regained altitude and circled around the airport. Yeah. Officials confirmed that the plane missed the approach when it first tried to land. The too close to comfort flying by nearby homes had locals rattled. So was this pilot error or did something just happen? Because it said they missed the air thing. Okay, Southwest is following a robust safety management system and is in contact with the FAA to understand and address irregularities with their aircraft's approach to the airport, according to a spokesperson. So this one might have been pilot error. I don't know. It seemed like something was going on with their approach. So I'm not going to blame this one on Boeing. It seems like this one might not have been Boeing. So let's see what else Boeing has going on in the month of June. In the month of June, this one is funny because, come on, man. Yep.
I don't notice, of course.
This was funny because somebody is stuck in space fooling with Boeing. Why is Boeing going into outer space when they can't keep planes in the air, in our atmosphere? I have no idea. But let's check this story out right quick because I just don't understand.
This is no place to run into technical trouble. That's exactly what happened to Boeing Starliner, 400 kilometers above Earth, attached to the International Space Station, and stuck there for now.
And you really don't want things to go wrong in that kind of extreme environment.
Starliner's first crew was all smiles when they docked at the space station in early June.
We're just happy as can be to be up in space.
But this week, NASA announced it's delaying their return to Earth until at least June 26th. Starliner has suffered 4 helium leaks and 5 failures of its thrusters. NASA wants time.
Dude, this is space, and to be honest, I don't know if he was joking. He was probably for real. Elon's like, he'll go get him. SpaceX will go get him. But dog, they talking about leaks. Like, why does this sound like par for the course, yo? Y'all planes do this stuff.
5 failures of its thrusters. NASA wants time to figure out what's wrong.
We want to give our teams a little bit more time to look at the data, do some analysis, and make sure we're really ready to come home.
That means Starliner will spend at least 20 days in orbit for what was supposed to be just a 5-day mission, rocketing up the embarrassment for the beleaguered Boeing and its troubled space program.
Let's get going.
Troubled all program.
The launch of this mission was scrubbed multiple times by technical problems. In 2019, the first uncrewed Starliner flight failed to reach proper orbit. The whole program is over a year behind schedule and $1.5 billion over budget.
I think what we're really seeing with the difficulties Boeing is having relative to SpaceX, the problem is they've lost a lot of capability.
PMA 2 into Starliner.
The good news, the problems don't impact the parts of Starliner needed for the perilous re-entry into Earth's atmosphere.
Man, you think
and
I'm
the
going to
ship
count
could
on
theoretically spend up to 45 days in space if problems persist. Those delays are really a problem for the engineers back on Earth. For the astronauts, it means a little more time to sit back and enjoy the view. Jackson Prosco, Global News, Washington.
And my best Shannon Sharp, nope. Skill, nope. I'm not even gonna lie. I don't care what you feel about Elon. I'm like, yeah, bro, come get me. I would not trust my re-entry into the Earth's atmosphere to freaking Boeing. Would not. So, of course, here on the Independent Malay, on the Independent Mail, the same way that we keep up with and cover what's going on down in Fulton County, whether it's Fannie Willis or Natalie Hall or Judge Peterson and all of the above, or good old Tiffany Tahoe up in Dalton in Illinois. The independent mail is going to be keeping up with Boeing. I don't care if nobody watches these videos. I'm going to keep up with Boeing, and I am going to be talking about Boeing because I don't understand why not more attention is on Boeing. And really, to be honest, I need the lawmakers, both sides of the aisle, to get up on Boeing and get up into their ish. And it's time to start yanking funding for these guys, because my thing is, in 2020, when they got these bailout packages, what did they end up doing? You can do your own research. They did what they call a lot of these stock buybacks. And I'm not going to get all into the weeds over that, but what that does is it artificially props up their stock by taking available stock out of circulation, and by them being the ones that just transact on it as far as the purchasing of that stock. It gives it an automatic boost in value. Now, they are capped at how much they can do per time period, and I should be able to tell y'all that right off the head because it was on one of my last tests, but I don't remember because I don't do it every day. But anyway, I do know they have a limit at how much they can do it, at so many amounts of time. But the point is, when they had these funds, of course, what they were supposed to use for payroll and to keep employees and stuff on board or whatever, they participated in stock buybacks. And that ended up blowing up in their faces because their product was still trash and their stock tanked and went down anyway. So my point is, we've seen what they do over there. We've seen them try to obfuscate regulations. We've seen them take tax dollars and not make good on it. Why do we keep bailing them out? There should be no more bailouts for Boeing. All of that too big to fail stuff. No, not for them. Not for them. It's for capable people that don't put our lives at risk. These people are putting our lives at risk, and they're getting subsidized. Are they getting subsidized for things and stuff of that nature? No. So, no to Boeing. I'm gonna be back, I think, Wednesday, probably 10 o'clock. For sure I will be, because I'm gonna be following up on some TIFF, because of course YouTube is not going to give me any impressions on my videos that do not have Miss Henyard attached to them. That's why I know I made this video today, because I've been watching Boeing and I've been keeping up with them, and I needed to get some Boeing junk off my chest and get the ball rolling on them, because I'm gonna keep talking about Boeing, and hopefully YouTube want to get on this Boeing, want to help me talk about Boeing. But anyway, we're gonna follow up on Thornton Township and Dalton, because number one, I wanted to touch back on some accusations about her falsifying police tests, which I'm pretty sure she did. I think Hannibal is Hungry was covering that. Also, some of the FBI subpoena information was naming some vendors that was working with Tiffany or the Village as far as some pay-for-play stuff. But they also have an upcoming meeting on the 1st, which is mañana. So yeah, I'm definitely going to want to talk about that on Wednesday. So, but anyway, Chara, a couple of people that stopped by on the live, I super duper duper appreciate you guys. I always appreciate you for stopping by. I hope you enjoy the rest of your Sunday afternoon, and I will see you guys Wednesday. And until next time. Oh yeah, and too, right quick, next weekend, I think I am going to still try to do a Saturday Night Live, because I think I'm going to try to get a game going, and it is a bingo style trivia game involving Dalton Village and the Thornton Township, and we're going to call it Tahoe. So instead of bingo, B-I-N-G-O, we're going to go with Tahoe, T-H-H-O-E-O-O-H-O. Did I not spell that Tiffany Henyard style? So yeah, but I'm gonna put out details on that on the community page. I'll probably keep updating about that on a daily basis. But yeah, we're gonna get us some Tahoe going on, some trivia style bingo for all things that's related to Tiffany and the Village of Dalton and the Thornton Township. Again, y'all, I appreciate you. Have a good Sunday afternoon. Until next time, peace and stay informed.